None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lied.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we moonwalk into the wild financial life of Michael Jackson, the king of pop, do me a quick favor, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You don't want to miss the truth about what happens when you mix epic talent with epic spending. Spoiler, it's not always a smooth criminal, if you catch my drift. Winks. Alright, let's start with Michael's financial highs, because oh boy, they were high. Michael was making so much money in the 80s and 90s that Forbes practically had a permanent spot for him on their richest celebs list. We're talking hundreds of millions. His Thriller album alone made more money than most countries' GDP. He was printing cash, and just like anyone who gets crazy rich in their 20s, Michael did the smart thing. He saved it, invested in a diversified portfolio, and lived modestly. Laughs. Yeah, right, this guy bought a freaking zoo, but more on that later. Let's give credit where it's due. Michael was not only a genius in music, but also had some killer financial moves, at least in the beginning. Remember when he bought the rights to the Beatles catalogue for $47.5 million in 1985? I mean, who does that? The guy who was like, oh, I make more in a week than this entire band of legends, I'll just take their greatest hits too. That one decision was a financial masterstroke. The Beatles catalogue brought in an estimated $100 million a year at its peak. This was the kind of investment that could have made Michael a financial powerhouse for life. Could have. But, we'll get to that. Let's talk about Neverland Ranch. Oh, Michael, buddy, what were you thinking? So, in 1988, Michael decides to spend around $17 million on this 2,700-acre estate. And not just any estate. It had a zoo, an amusement park, and enough statues to make a Roman emperor jealous. Sarcastic. Because, you know, when your accountant says you're blowing too much cash, the answer is clearly buy more giraffes. And as you can imagine, maintaining a private amusement park, zoo, and a staff of hundreds doesn't come cheap. Neverland alone was costing him about $10 million a year to maintain. This place was less of a ranch and more of a black hole for his bank account. Mock whispering. Fun fact, giraffes don't work for free. Now, if you thought maintaining a zoo was expensive, wait until you hear about the legal fees. Michael faced several high-profile lawsuits over the years, including child molestation accusations that resulted in a $20 million settlement in 1993. Lawsuits, settlements, and ongoing legal battles took a huge toll on his finances. At one point, it was estimated that he was paying tens of millions in legal fees annually. Host, look, if your legal bills are outpacing your amusement park maintenance costs, something has gone horribly wrong. And while all of this was going on, the king of pop was still living like he had Thriller-era money flowing in. He'd be like, yeah, another lawsuit. Fine, but first let's spend a few million on more weird giant statues of myself. Host, because nothing says financial responsibility like having your own Mount Rushmore of you. By the late 90s and early 2000s, the cracks in Michael's financial empire were showing. Sure, he still had assets, like the Beatles catalogue and his music royalties, but he was spending way more than he was making. What do you do when you're burning cash faster than you can moonwalk? You take out loans, lots and lots of loans. Michael borrowed against his assets, including the Beatles catalogue, to the point where he owed hundreds of millions. That's right, Michael Jackson, the king of pop, was drowning in debt. At one point, he reportedly had $500 million in debt, and in 2006, Neverland Ranch was even threatened with foreclosure. Host foreclosure on Neverland. I mean, this place was practically a billionaire's circus, and here he was, pawning it off just to stay afloat. Host, I guess when the giraffes stop getting fed, that's when you know it's time to sell. So, in 2009, facing financial ruin, Michael planned a comeback tour, This Is It, which was supposed to be his grand return, and hopefully his financial savior. He signed a deal for 50 shows, which could have brought in hundreds of millions of dollars and gotten him out of debt. But, tragically, he passed away just before the tour began. Here's the ironic twist. After his death, Michael's estate made more money than he had in his later years. Since his passing, his estate has earned over $2 billion from music sales, documentaries, and posthumous business deals. So, in the end, Michael Jackson's legacy, like his life, was a roller coaster of extreme highs and devastating lows. I mean, who else dies $500 million in debt and then makes billions after? Classic MJ. Even in death, he defies logic. So, what can we learn from Michael Jackson's financial journey? Well, for one, talent doesn't guarantee financial stability. You can be the biggest pop star in the world and still end up in massive debt if you don't manage your money wisely. It's easy to blame his eccentric spending habits, like the zoo and the life-size statues, but a lot of it came down to poor financial management and surrounding himself with yes-men who weren't looking out for his best interests. In the end, though, Michael's story is a cautionary tale about what happens when you mix immense talent with unchecked spending and bad financial advice. And while his legacy as a musician is secure, his financial life serves as a reminder that even the king of pop can run out of money. Well, that's it for today, folks. Thanks for taking this wild ride through Michael Jackson's financial highs and lows with me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the financial lives of the rich and famous. Until next time, keep your finances just a little more grounded than Neverland, okay? Later, Winks.